Hi first graders, welcome back. We are going to start our very own Jim Dine inspired heart picture. So we have been learning all about hearts. I showed you on the introduction video how to create a heart by using a lowercase m and a V. If you know a different way to make a heart, then that's great too. For this lesson, I would love for you to have crayons. The older, actually, the better, because we're going to be pressing down really hard with our crayons. So crayons, lots of different colors is better. And I also would like you to have your watercolor paints ready, along with a paintbrush and water. Now, just like anytime in any of these lessons, when you're working at home or when you're working at a different location after school, it's okay to use whatever materials you have. But I'm going to be demonstrating you with older crayons that I can press down really hard with and watercolors. Okay, let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be making a nice big heart in the middle of our page. It's okay if you want to hold your paper this way or if you want to hold your paper this way. It really doesn't matter for this lesson. But you're going to make your heart with a crayon. Now, remember, Jim Dine's hearts do not look like a Valentine heart like you would typically see. They have lots and lots of bright, bold colors. So I want you to keep that in mind. Just because it's a heart does not mean it has to be red or pink. It can be any color you want. So I'm gonna start right in the middle and I'm going to make my big heart. Okay, we're just gonna start with one heart right in the middle, okay? The reason why I'm not having you make many hearts, okay, and the reason why I'm having you make it in the middle is because we're gonna do something on the outside or the background, okay? Now, after you make the heart, what I would like you to do is go back over it and really, really, really press down hard so that that crayon is nice and dark, okay? So for this lesson, you're gonna really press down. Usually when you color with crayons, I tell you to not press down too hard, because if you press down really hard, what sometimes happens to crayons is they break. So I want you to always, when you color, to not press down super, super hard. But for this lesson, I actually want you to press down really hard. We want to have a nice dark color. That's why I said it's okay to have older crayons. And if your crayons break, that's okay too. They can still work like this one. So as you can see, after I've made that outline of my heart or drawn my heart, then I'm going to work on coloring it in nice and dark, nice and hard with some bright, bold colors. Maybe you have two different colors on the outline like I did. Maybe you have one. It's kind of up to you. Jim Dine was known for keeping his art pretty simple, so I'm not going to add a ton of details in this, but remember, this is your art and you can do whatever you'd like. After you have those, the heart drawn, you're going to fill in inside the heart. So you might have a plan where you might keep going around and around, or maybe you just start coloring like I'm doing right now to fill in that heart. And the great thing about crayons is you can add colors on top of colors. So maybe I start with this kind of light orangey yellow color, and then maybe I switch back to my pink and I kind of color the pink on top of the orange. This is your heart however you want to do it, but as you can see, I am coloring really hard. So I'm really pressing down. I'm using my muscles to really have a nice colored in heart with thick, thick crayons. And how you're gonna know that your heart is nice and thick and colored in just the way that I would like you to is that the crayon is nice and dark and you're really using your muscles in your hand to color that in. If it looks more like this and it's really light and you can see the white paper underneath, that's not colored in hard enough. We really want to get that wax from the crayon onto the paper and really, really fill in your heart, okay? Now I'm working kind of quickly. I would like you to take your time. Remember, this is your art, so you may use whatever colors you want. You might not want any red in your heart. You might want lots of red in your heart. It's kind of up to you, but again, really pressing down. You can use colors on top of colors if you want. The more colors you have, the more it kind of looks like a real pop art Jim Dine picture. And pop art is when you have something from everyday life that you recognize, like a heart. Okay, and you create art with it. So as you can see, I'm using lots and lots of colors. Maybe I'll go back to that turquoise that I started with. And I'm even coloring on top of colors. So you can, it's kind of like you're experimenting. And now what I'm doing is I'm kind of even scribbling over my heart. And that's okay, as long as you are coloring in all those white areas so that your heart is all filled in with colors, okay? So that is going to be your first step, to color in your heart, doing it however way you like. Once your heart is all colored in, remember making sure that it's nice and dark, you're going to use the watercolors to paint in the background. Now, if you colored this nice and dark, you should be able to paint right over your heart. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go dip, dip, wipe, wipe, tickle, tickle, and I'm going to paint. I can even paint right over it, and I can still see that heart. If I need more paint, dip, dip, wipe, wipe, tickle, tickle, brush, brush. Now you may want your background to be all one color, or you may want to do it several colors, like how I did the heart. This is your artwork, but you are going to be painting right over that crayon. And that crayon, if you colored it dark enough, should pop right out. You should see some little bubbles or puddles of watercolor, and those will dry up when your painting dries up. Okay, now maybe I'm kind of doing my scribble technique again like Jim Dine did. Maybe you have more of a plan. Maybe you want to have some sort of straight lines, or maybe you want some sort of border by going all the way around the edges. It's kind of up to you. This is your pop art, however way you would like to do it, but I would like you to color your heart, if you have these materials at home, with crayon, and I would like you to paint over it with watercolors like I just did, and then finish up by painting the background however which way you would like. Whatever colors you would like to use, you could have one color or you could have many, many colors, so that in the end your Jim Dine pop art is all filled with bright, bold, vibrant colors. I'm super excited to see what you come up with and how you are inspired by the artist Jim Dine. So please make sure that you finish by taking a picture of your art and sharing it with me on the first grade art Padlet. Have fun, first grade. I can't wait to see what you do.